The Super Eagles of Nigeria and South Africa's Bafana Bafana clashed to a tense 1-1 draw on Tuesday at the Free State Stadium in Bloemfontein, South Africa. The match, a pivotal fixture in the Group C qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, saw both nations vying for crucial points that could determine their fate in the tournament. South Africa, leading the group with 17 points, hosted the Nigerian team, which stood on 11 points with 2 matches remaining to secure qualification for the World Cup, set to be co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The game's initial stages saw Nigeria's captain, William Troost Ekong, inadvertently score an own goal in the 25th minute, handing the home side a 1-0 advantage that ignited fervent celebration among South Africans. The goal was a critical blow to Nigeria's aspirations, but did not dampen their fighting spirit. Just before halftime, defender Calvin Bassett restored parity with a powerful header from a well-executed set piece, silencing the home crowd and rekindling Nigeria's hopes. Both teams fought, creating several scoring opportunities, but failing to convert chances into goals. And Nigeria made tactical substitutions, including introducing striker Tolu Rokodara in a bid to tilt the game in their favor. South Africa defended resolutely to maintain the draw, which preserved their pole position in Group C. The match's intensity reflected the high stakes, with coaches and players showing determination and tactical discipline. Right, we're supposed to have Mr. Fine, but it seems that network has been dealing with it. So if he comes around, we'll have him, welcome him. But Mr. Due Process, Nigeria had a face-off with Bafana Bafana of South Africa yesterday. I don't know whether you watched the match. Due Process.
I followed up on the match, and to me, this is not the Super Eagles I grew up to know. We now have a Super Eagle that is struggling with goals. Is uncalled for. Previously, South Africa was never, a tough opponent to Nigeria because we've always had it well. But the crop of Super Eagle that we have.
Is that the process?
Can you hear me? The crop of Super Eagle.
I can hear you.
The current crop of Super Eagle players we have currently now, I wonder why they struggling with goals. In the front of goal, they've not been giving much of attempts. You know, if you don't make attempt by shooting on targets, how do you score? You don't just play and hold the ball, passing it around. That does not produce goal. There have to be a very critical attempt on targets to be able to expect a goal in return. So there's need for technical reshaping of the Super Eagle to give us the desired outcome, because we have very quality players scattered across Europe. But when it comes to scoring has become a challenge. And I haven't seen over the years, they've changed number of coaches.
I can barely hear you.
So like I was saying, there's need to change the psyche of the Nigerian Super Eagle players to have more attempts on goal. If you look at the entire match yesterday, there was less than 4 attempts on goal. I was able to produce just 1 goal at the end of the day. A team that is looking forward to qualification should have more attempts on goal. And there's need to really change the formation of the players to be able to have more ease of movement in the front line. The formation we'll be using, the 4-4-2, have not really produced much desired result. There's no reason why we cannot change to 4-3-3. You know, 4-3-3 can give us more options in the front of goal. So that's my submission in respect to the and in terms of qualification, it's a very difficult moment having three teams having 11 points. Qualification becomes so difficult. I don't know why Nigerian qualification for World Cup should always have this drama of expecting other teams to lose while we are able to win. It's uncalled for. South Africa has 17 points, whereas Nigeria have just 11 points, same as Rwanda and the other third team. So any team that is willing to do well in the global stage must show working right from the qualification. So for us to do well, there have to be a total change of approach and expectations on the part of the players. The players need to understand what is at stake. Hosting World Cup repeatedly without Nigeria showing up is not good. It's not good for the image of the country.
Yes, what I want to ask is what determines points in the game of football? Because I'm not so much about it, even though it involves Nigeria. What determines points? Is it the kicking or the dribbling or the what and what? Yeah.
No, points basically come by winning. You know, when you win a game, you have 3 points. When you draw, you have 1 point. And when you lose, you have 0 points, right? Then we talk about goal difference. That is, if there are stalemates in the points, then we'll go to goal difference to determine who comes first, second, or third. Nigeria, as it is today, is able to come second by virtue of goal difference. Otherwise, 3 teams are already sitting on 11 points. But by virtue of goal difference, we're able to sit on the second spot, right? So Nigeria have had needless draws building up to this World Cup qualifiers that we're having currently. Needless draws have led to point deduction, drawing against Rwanda, drawing against Lesotho and all that. These are not the kind of results that we should be having for the Super Eagles. You can't be expecting to go out and face France, face Italy, face Germany, all these European best countries, and be having a draw against Rwanda and all that. You are not prepared for the world, It's
All
not
right.
the.
Thank you very much. We have our guest here, football analyst, Mr. Fine. You are welcome to DDM Morning Show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I know you watched the football match yesterday. How would you describe it? Did you expect what happened? And what does it imply, the match? Does it portend danger for Nigeria, or do we still have a bit of hope?
Okay. First, I must say that we have to be realistic. We are not going for the 2026 World Cup. And normally, I don't put on black on a live show. But the reason I'm putting on black is to mourn the fact that Nigeria will miss out.
Very sad.
We miss out of the 2026 World Cup in US, Canada, and Mexico. On the preview, I told Ibrahim that I'm a realist, and I believe if you do the right things, you get the right result. It's very saddening, and I must say that it was a very devastating result. I didn't expect that from the boys. Even though I know we have some structural problems, the problem delivering Nigerian national team is structural, and for me, it's over for us. Even though mathematically it's still possible that Nigeria will still qualify for the World Cup, but you look at the pattern of play that we put out there on the pitch. It's nothing to write home about. We played Rwanda, and in that game, if you listen to me in the last show. I said we didn't play, even though we got the 3 points against Rwanda, we didn't play like a big nation, a big footballing nation. So for me, it's even better we don't go to the World Cup because we would end up messing ourselves up there. You know, like my colleague said, that we can't be facing the likes of Argentina, Spain, Portugal playing that way. So I don't want to keep commenting on the match I saw yesterday because it was very devastating, very very poor. Our coach got it wrong from all aspects, from the lineup, the team selection, the pattern of play, the tactics, everything. They got it wrong. You know, I told Ibrahim in our last match that it's always good to reward performance. And why did I say so? There was a certain Frederick in our centre back that played lovely football. The composure he had in our last match, Rwanda before South Africa, was promising. So I said in the preview to the South African game that why not try, start using the pair that worked for you. Like they say in football, you don't change the winning team. The winning team as it stands before the South African game, was Fred and Bassi in the centre back, I mean. Then maybe Onyemaechi left back, then a line, or even though a line got injured in the first half. But why starting with Ekong? It boils down to the same issue we've been having as a nation. You play people because of the name they have or the name they've made in football. No, we don't do that. Nowadays, football is played by by reality. The output the players give. You select players based on the output they give on the training. And aside that, this Frederick I'm talking about played very, very well in our last match against. I was even surprised to see a centre back playing that way because the way he played, uh, 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 he reminded me of players in the nature of Van Dijk and the rest of them. So when you have such a player in your team and you decide to bench that player in a must win game, South African game was must win. You have yourself to be blamed. So for me, I blame the coach for poor selection. And for me, there is no hope. And sometimes when I say there is no hope, people say I'm not being patriotic enough. I'm not being hopeful. I'm a realist. I should be real. I should be factual. The fact is, we don't play good football. As it stands now, the Nigerian national team, we don't play good football, and we shouldn't be in the World Cup. That is the fact. So, if you saw what South Africa, okay, let me say this. I was when I was watching the game, I was looking at names, on the South African shirt. I couldn't pinpoint a single player in the South African game that is popular, that is famous, that is known. No single name. But we have a lot of names in the Nigerian national team. The likes of Lukman, Iwobi, Ndidi, Oshima, even though he didn't play and we missed him, of course. But we have big names that ordinarily South Africa stand no chance of even seeing a draw against us. So, I don't know what to say again, but I'm just saying we need to face the reality. That's all.
Right. Well, what an insightful and incisive analysis from our sport analyst. But what would you advise the federal government to do? Because the Super Eagles belongs to Nigeria, and Nigeria, almost everything is controlled by politics. Whether that sector will progress or not is determined by our political leaders. So what advice do you have for our leaders in Nigeria in respect to boosting the progress of football?
Hello, come again with the question. Come again.
All right, I'm asking, what advice would you give to our political leaders in order to, you know, enhance the progress of our national team?
Well, I must say that first and foremost, um, you know, if you know the problem you have, then it's half solved. The problem, the Nigerian football team, the problem we have is a structural problem. And what do I mean by structural? When you say structure, a top bottom something. So we have to start from the leaders. Who are the leaders? The minister of sports, the NFF president, the manager. I'm even surprised that um, at this age that we find it hard to pick the right football manager for our national team, because what our manager did out there against South Africa was very, so the problem we have is structural with our leader, football. We have to change. It's a total overhaul for me. If you look at whenever I want to compare, whenever I want to talk about the national team, I like comparing them with the foreigners. If you look at great football clubs like Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, what they do to get it right, what they do to change whatever bad that is happening in their teams is to first change the structure, like Manchester United changed. I think they sacked a Woodward. So for me, Nigeria should start hiring people who are passionate about football. That is the first thing. Not hiring money mongers, who are just interested in making money. You should hire people who are very passionate about football, who have the interest of sports, at heart. If you do that, then we'll start having positive changes in the Nigerian team. That is first. You have to change it's for me. I'm going to say this, but he's very confused because if you watched our game against Rwanda, there was no clue, there was no pattern, there was no plan. If you want to win a football match, you have to get your tactics right. You have to have a good football match. It's like a war. You have to go in with a good strategy. You have to have a good strategy in football. That's first. Have a good plan. Have quality tactics.
All right, that was Stefan Hillary, sports analyst. What a brilliant analysis. All right, Mr. Fai, we have noted your points. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time and contribution. All right, we have to continue. Mr. Ibrahim, could you just say a few words on this in this respect?
All right. Football is a game, but more than a game, football tend to give you a larger picture of a country or a society based on the performance of their players. You see, Nigerian players, there are a lot of factors affecting them. You talk about nepotism, which is the area I'm most interested in. Nepotism plays a key role in the destruction of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If you go back to the 90s and early 2000s, Super Eagles is one of the most strongest teams in the world, not even in Nigeria. And currently, if you're looking at the talent we have all over the world, I mean, Nigerian players are representing multiple countries, not just representing. Nigerian players, they are making a statement in those countries. For example, in England, we have more than 5 players in the best team. If you go to Germany, we have two players in Germany. If you move to multiple countries across Europe and world-class talents accepted globally that they are world-class, why are they not coming home to represent Nigeria? Clearly, the decay in the system. Even our foreign-based players like Basi and Lukman that come back to play for Nigeria, the reality is they are playing for Nigeria because they know they are not going to represent England. If you have the option, if you have the chance to represent a better country, you can't come and represent Nigeria. That's a fact. And there is a manager in Europe, Pep Guardiola. He don't recruit African players. It's rarely you see him recruiting African players. And even if you recruit an African player, he'll be from these Maghreb countries, the Arab part of Africa, Algeria, Egypt, not the black Africans. And basically, because he's fastidious to details, the primary problem that make him not to be recruiting African players is the mentality. You see that in the under 17, under 20 World Cup, Nigeria are dominating. But fast forward, when they reach the professional level, they're still falling apart. Why? Because of the mentality. You went there just to participate, not to win. And it makes a huge difference between the two. And when you look at the government, for example, you see African players, for example, the women players during the World Cup, the recent World Cup, Women's World Cup, their own on you, the government is with who. When you look at the national team, you can clearly see the decay in the system because the players are not, first of all, they don't have any identity. They are not representing anything. They're just representing themselves as the best case scenario. So I think the government have to change every facet because football is just showcasing the decay in the system. And it is not good for our country. We are calling ourselves giants of Africa. But when it comes to sports, zero. When it comes to education, zero. Military, zero. I was checking Nigerian military. Nigeria comes fourth in military in Africa. And in Africa, recently they released the name of no, in the world they released the name of 2,000 best universities in the world, 2,000 best universities in the world. And there are only three Nigerian universities that make the cut. And in South Africa, there are 11 universities that make the cut. In Egypt, 20 universities make the cut. Ghana, 5 universities make the cut. But Nigeria, unfortunately, only three universities make it to these 1,000 best universities in Africa. Then we are not giant in anything. Basically, I retired from watching Nigerian football. Anything Super Eagle, I don't watch it. I told you yesterday, I told you I'm not going to watch Super Eagle again because it's basically wasting your own time to go and watch them. They don't have anything. Even if they qualify for the World Cup, they are going there only to participate, not to win anything. So I'm going there to support. If I watch World Cup, I will decide on the country I'm going to support. Clearly not Nigeria.
Very sad indeed. All right. We don't have timing. We have to have a short break. When we come back, we shall be listening to Mrs. Oluchi to give us insights into DDM Tech Course 6 shortly. All right, you're welcome back to DDM Morning Show. I'm Toshku Raphael. Mrs. Solucci, the floor is yours now. Tell us about the course 6, which is a field play.
All right, so my name is Zoluchi. DDM Academy, we train students in different tech fields, in different skills, from beginners to expert level. So ranging from different courses ranging from graphic design, UI UX design, front-end development, back-end development, cybersecurity, AI and machine learning, office suites, video editing. So all of these skills we have experts, trained tutors, instructors that teach different courses. And what we offer is not just we don't just train students, we actually train and also mentor them to be world-class techies. Okay, so we mentor them and we guide them all through the way till they get internship job opportunities and they make impact in the society. So in the world we are today, the technology industry is growing, the use of artificial intelligence is growing. So it is encouraged that people actually learn skills. And this is why we are here at DDM Academy. Irrespective of your location, we offer training both on-site and online trainings. So on-site here at Mbako, Anambra State, we have accommodation for students. So those that have interest in learning can come, pay for accommodation. Our accommodation is 50,000 naira for 3 months, so it's quite affordable. And for the training is 75,000 naira for 3 months. Okay, so people that want to learn on site come on site and take up the training and they interact with their tutors face to face for these 3 months. It's usually an intensive training, which after it you will be confident enough to start applying for jobs and start getting opportunities. Most of our students, even before graduation, start getting gigs, start getting contracts from different places. This is because we train our students not just to learn the skills, but also to put themselves out there to get job opportunities. We give them training on LinkedIn, how to optimize their LinkedIn, how to have an 8 years optimized CV, and also other skills like communication skills, collaboration skills that will help them make impact in any company that they find themselves. And apart that, our best students are being given opportunity to intern with us at DDM. So we have a lot of opportunities for any student that comes to join us, especially in this era of AI, where even our curriculum are well fitted and has been advanced into the AI to accommodate that of the artificial intelligence curriculum. So in any skill you find yourself, you want to learn graphics, UI, UX, front end development, we also give you those AI training that will help to also make the work easier and faster for you. So you have nothing to worry. And those that want to learn online, irrespective of your location, you can also learn online because the online classes are mostly in the evenings to accommodate those that are working and that work during the day, you get. So in the evening you have your classes, and after that, even though you're not able to attend, you also get the recordings, which means you get to practice on your own. You get to meet your tutor, you get to ask your tutor questions, your instructor questions, and your instructor is always there to guide you all through the way. So these are many more. That is what we offer at DDM Academy, and we hope that small students will come and join us because the cohort is starting on September 15th. So that September 15th, we'll start with an onboarding section to introduce students with the tools they need to get started with and how the program will get started. So that is on that first week, we are going to kick off the training. Thank you very much.
Mr. Tochukwu Raphael, you are muted.
All right. Ms. Solushi, thank you very much. That is Ms. Solushi, one of our expert instructors or tutor at the DDM Tech Academy. Thanks for your contribution and time. You viewers, I urge you to avail yourself of this golden privilege and opportunity, key into this system and be part of the growing AI revolution, AI century. Thank you very much. This is where we draw the curtain on DDM Morning Show. But let me remind you, if you look on the topics that we discuss, and then share this video so that every other person will see and watch and listen. I am Tochukwu Raphael. Mr. Due Process, thanks for your contribution and time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, viewers, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.